All right. So, inserting myself inside method. Right, so I'm an artist. I'm also a Christian at a very reputable Christian church. I'm also a genius and a democratic strategist and a union worker. And I'm also a genius at psychology. And I follow laws all the time. And I'm a genius at science. I'm also part of society. So, some of the things that I do in ways when I talk about their little bitch cop gang, they have a very high level genius reaction to that. It's a gang member. And so, the ways that you can find the deputy gang people is in this instance with me, is if they claim this. Because they talk about other people, about what they do. That's their high level, extremely genius, like. And so just remember that all of this means not gang member, okay? This, in Tri-Cities, see, in Satanic S&M, they have a saying called, there's no science in the cuck. But in Bitch Cop Satanic S&M, there's no art in the cuck, okay? It means that none of them will have anything. None of them will do anything like this. At all. They call everybody that's an artist a pedophile, but really, they're in bitch Satanic S&M. And that in regular Satanic S&M, there's no science. None of them will do science. And that in Bitch Cop Gang, which they basically run a gang through a Satanic S&M, they won't have art. It's like the same theoretic, but see, bitch. There's no science in the cuck, but that those people in regular Satanic S&M will do art, but they won't do science. And that's where I know that they're a satanic cult. Their gang is kind of like the MS-13 is a satanic cult, basically, that runs as a gang. And so Deputy Cop's stupid little bitch gang, of stupid little bitch, their version of Satanic S&M has no art. And see, I do art and science. And then I do society. I do. See, in society, everybody's assumed to be going to the pedo bay. And that, even though it's stupid as fuck to me, I utilize that idea. Because taking a drink of malt liquor would, so like, some people can drink beer like cops and bitch cuck, and they can go to the pedo bank still. And then some people can drink liquor, but they won't drink beer, and they can still go to the pedo bank, but malt liquor, nobody would be able to go because of this. This is what it is. This satanic S&M has rules. You see how it says liquor, but it's basically beer. See, the gangsters in Compton, basically, yeah. You see that they drink malt liquor. That society. The cants goes to the pedo banks. And this is like this stuff about switchy bitching, gangs. See, like Snoop and Dre, when they were early on in the ghetto, or basically when they were first making music videos and shit. See, the whole idea is to keep your gang from going to the pedo bang, okay? And that everybody drinks malt liquor. Because you can't go to the satanic S&M club's pedo bang. And that essentially, if you are like clean and kosher, or if you follow certain rules, then the satanic S&M can blackmail you to the pedo bang. And that then if you make yourself, see, like Snoop and Dre, they might have like an orgy porn or something like that. And that if you drink malt liquor, then your blood, okay, because it's satanic, then your blood is too unclean. And so then they won't blackmail you to the pedo bang, okay? And so some people may not understand, but like that's where the black people gangs in Compton and Watts and shit, they essentially were, well, they're not Satanists, but that's Sin City, okay? Sin City is essentially slanging and stuff, operates through satanic S&M, basically. Slanging drugs. So basically, it's like, I call it pedo banging to the top. Some people follow the rules of satanic S&M, and then they pedo bang to the top, and then they get toppled off. The people that like, they drink malt liquor, okay? OE. And then it's like worthless. See, it's like, the whole idea is that the Satanists, they have a set of rules. And that they blackmail people to the pedo bang. They just do. And that the moment that you drink something like this, then they won't even bother, because you know what? The person wouldn't be able to fuck kids in their rules. See, they follow their own rules. Doesn't even matter who you are. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are. They don't even actually care. It's like, if everybody drinks malt liquor, then fine, good. Then they don't have to, because they're all slaves. They're all slaves to Satan. And that people that checklist certain parameters, they have to blackmail to a pedo bang. Okay? And that's basically all it is on dark web. They don't care. They're forced through their own extortion to be blackmailing, and nowadays it's sound torture speakers and shit. Nowadays they have to make everybody go to the pedo bank. So the more people like do stuff that makes it so they don't have to do anything, basically, it's like that's what society is. So the whole idea is that all of these reasons are reasons why I would never be able to be a gang member, basically, but I also would never be able to be a Satanist. So basically, bitch, stupid little bitch cops, they have, in the deputy gang, they have two kind of ultimate, like, genius thoughts. Gang, a Satanist. A Satanist wouldn't be able to see. I'm baptized in that church, and recently I've taken communion and stuff, and like that's stuff that a Satanist wouldn't be able to do. And that to be a genius at philosophy, they have a forced dumbness structure where you're not allowed to be smarter than a certain leader or something. And so it's usually like they do everything in their philosophy world. You're not allowed to be a genius than somebody older than you, basically. And so I'm more of a genius than most old people. And that then, essentially, everybody has to be, most of the time, nobody does Satanism unless they become a pedophile or something. And so then everybody has to be conservative. And so then none of them would be able to be a democratic strategist. And so then all of them are all about Satan money and scams and shit. And they fucking hate worker unions and shit. And Satanism. Satanism, that, because Jews are union. And that they're Satanists are the opposite of Jews. And none of them would be able to be in a union. And then in Satanism, everybody has to break a law on purpose, like willfully break laws, basically. And that then, essentially, being a genius at philosophy at psychology means to deprogram, and everybody gaslights in Satanism. Everything in Satanism is people training to gaslight everyone. And so to be a genius in psychology means to deprogram everyone, essentially, is at its core, yeah. And that then there's no science in the cock. And there's no art in the cock either, okay? And that then, since I have all these scars, I wouldn't be allowed, because these scars are what a person gets when they finally finish the 8 satanic S&Ms. There's 8 styles of Satanism. And so this is what inserting myself inside method is. Because when people start claiming this stuff about me, then what they're saying is a confession in ways to them being involved in either in gangs or Satanism. Because there's no possible way for me to be in a gang, essentially, in dark web or Satanism. And so when they claim that shit about me, then, and then in ways What I know about the dark web and Satanism is that I spooge babies that would never be able to be in Satanism. Like my son. He'll never be able, it doesn't matter what he does in life. Like, he won't ever be able to be in Satanism. And then, if I shove my sword in the stupid witch, then those women can't ever be in Satanism because they received the sword of Satan. These are the rules of Satanism. And that none of those chicks that I ever had sex with can technically ever be in Satanism. These are the real rules of Satanism. I skewer the witch. That means, in ways, it means that, like, can't do Satanism. You're rejected from Satanism. You're rejected from hell. It's like, I mean, it kind of means that. And none of those chicks that I've ever had sex with would ever give a fuck if my wiener made them not ever be in Satanism. That they wouldn't care. They would be happy about that. I don't have sex with people that want to be Satanists. Like my ex-wife, she doesn't want to be a Satanist, and that I don't ever really tell people this stuff because it's so weird and nobody knows this stuff. But nowadays, there's investigations on down in LA right now on the cop gang, and I know that there's Satanists, and so to give people a better understanding of what that means, see, having all of these scars means that Satanists had to give me all the information about Satanism. And that then, since all of them were too stupid to understand, the reality is that Satanism is built on a very simplistic procedural structure. A simplistic procedural structure that having all these scars from childhood, basically, all they had to do was start talking about it. And then it was like, you stupid fucking pedophiles, I'm the prairie boy. I used to correct people at Satanism as a child. I knew more about that stuff as a child. And so as I started to remember stuff from childhood, I would hear Satanists talk and shit. And that as a child, I used to correct all the Satanists and shit. Because it's a very simplistic, being a child of enchantment, those children actually know how to do Satanism more authentically than the stupid fucking pedophiles. And so in reality, the things that those people say, I actually know the real aspects to that stuff. And that's when I finally realized it's like, the things that I was doing as a child I was the smartest person that had to do that stuff. And then I don't wear that as a badge of honor or anything, but I knew how to do that stuff better than everyone. See, they had this white-haired mustache guy with a cigarette and shit, and then he had to like eat jizz and shit because I was smarter at doing the Satanism than him. And I became the wizard. And he became my subordinate. And so that's kind of what it is that essentially children of enchantment are children that end up being smarter about Satanism than all the Satanists that are adults. So, as an adult, I was a little boy and I was smarter than all of them. And as an adult, I'm like a genius, okay? Anything that they think, even as a very early on smart boy, as a little boy, I was able to be smarter than all of them as a little boy. So as an adult, anything that they do will be easy breezy, beautiful, cover girl.